Hello everyone and welcome to today's webinar where we'll be going through the DECT part of the Yealink range, where the products fit best and how they can be part of your deployments. My name is Anna Maria and I'm the Sales Director here at ProView Communications, and joining me today I've also got Joel from Yealink, who's one of the engineers. Are you there, Joel?
Hey, hi, and thanks so much for the introduction. Hi, everyone. I'm Joe from Yealink, and I'm the technique manager of UK, and I will help Anna to do the DECT range introduction for you.
Thanks very much, Joel. Right, as we do go through the webinar, do feel free to stop me at any time with any questions. Obviously, we've got myself. Joel here is available to help as well. You will find a question box on the tab on the right-hand side. So if you just type your question in there, and then I will stop wherever it is that we are in the presentation. And there will also be time for questions at the end. So if something comes up later on, we'll also have some time then. And like I said, we've got Joel, so feel free to get as technical as you like. This is our agenda for today. So I'll give you a little intro on Yealink as a company, and then I'll briefly show you the full range, which we're not going to go into detail on, but it will just help you see what else is there and where the DECT products sit within that. Throughout the presentation, we will take a look in more detail on the single cell DECT, the multi-cell DECT, and the DECT headsets, including some new products. We've then got a few slides to show you how you can make use of these in your deployments. And then lastly, there will be a quick reminder of the lucky draw that we're holding for all of our attendees today, and also some detail on an NFR offer that we're about to launch to give you the opportunity to test some of the products that we're going through today. So why Yealink? I've got a couple of slides here with some stats and facts to back up why they are a solid manufacturer of product. So founded in 2001, we're going for over 20 years. By 2005, they had the majority share of USB desk phones. In 2015, they began their strategic partnership with Microsoft, which is very prominent now. So some of you may or may not know, but they've got a whole range of native Teams handsets. They've got Teams integrated headsets and Teams video conferencing units. By 2018, they had their hands on the majority share of the SIP phones in the market, and were #1 and still are in 2021. So you've got 1 in every 500 people in the world either owns or is using a Yealink product. Over 500,000 businesses out there are using Yealink IP phones, and over 15 million Yealink IP endpoints have been sold globally. As for their commitment, like I mentioned before, they've got over 20 years experience on the audio communication technology, over 8 years experience on wireless technology, including DECT and Bluetooth, and they've got over 600 patented technologies, including their acoustic shield technology, AI noise cancellation, and more. And finally, they are massively technically led, with over 50% of their staff working on the technical and R&D work to create the best products for their customers. Yealink is now widely supported on most platforms, a lot of which is listed here. So if you're new and you're reselling a platform, then the ITSP that you've partnered with will be able to tell you what products are supported. Or if you're new and you're building your own platform, then Yealink will happily work with you on the interrupt testing to get their products set up. This is the full Yealink range at a glance. So there are 3 phone series. You've got your T5 series phones, T4 and T3, with a range of handsets from entry level all the way up to high-end business video phones. You've got phones with multiple USB ports, phones with built-in Bluetooth, built-in Wi-Fi, and then the latest edition includes a phone with a cordless receiver. So you've got loads of options here. There should be something to fit every use and every budget. There is also a varied conference phone range, including 2 IP conference units for covering small, medium and large rooms. There's also a DECT conference unit, and the latest to the range is additional microphones to be able to expand those solutions. Lastly, there is a cordless handset range, which is a big part of what we'll be looking at today, over a number of different handsets and base stations designed to cover all requirements. Here is the DECT range at a glance, and we'll be going through all of this today with the exception of the conference phone. So as you can see, there are a number of different handsets, all with various features suited to different environments, and these can be purchased on their own or as packages with the single cell base stations. And then as for the base stations themselves, there is one single cell option, the W70B, which is also the base station that you'll find in all of the packages. And in addition to that, we've got two multi-cell base stations, the W80B and the W90B. There is the DECT conference phone with additional DECT microphones, and there is also a DECT dongle that you can use to either turn your desk phone into a base station to run handsets off it, or use it to connect it to a base station. And then lastly, we've also got the DECT headset range, and this includes standard office headsets as well as some newer models designed for portable workers and shop floors. Right, we're going to more detail now on what we've just seen, and we will start with the DECT handset series. So in the DECT handset range, the cordless handsets, we've got office handsets and ruggedized handsets. And what we are looking at here on this slide is the variety of office handsets that they have in their portfolio, with the W78H being the higher end premium handset, the W56H, which most of you should already be familiar with, and the W73H, which is the smaller, more compact handset. Here is the W70H close up, and one of the newer ones in the portfolio. So this is the higher end model. It's got a super sleek design. It's compactish to be easily portable walking around, and you've got a 2.4-inch color screen. It's made out of scratch resistant materials, and it's also disinfectant resistant. So obviously these days, even though we're out of the pandemic, generally people are taking the spread of germs more seriously, so you can wipe these down without the worry that it might in time damage the surface or lose its color. This one has also got built-in Bluetooth, so you can connect it to a wireless Bluetooth headset. This is the W56H, and the one most will already be familiar with, as it has been out for the longest. So this is quite a large handset, and it's built with an aluminium type material, which for some people can be a personal preference in terms of aesthetics. We've got a good battery life with 30 hours talk time and 400 hours standby time. We've actually got the same size color screen here. So this one is also 2.4-inch, so the same as what we've just seen, but there is more space around the buttons and around the screen itself, which is why it is a fair bit larger. And then on the headset side, there's no Bluetooth, but it does have a 3.5mm jack port for a wireless headset, for a wired headset. Last in the office range is the W73H, which is also fairly new. So this is the one that replaces the W53H and the W52H. So this is a much smaller compact handset. So we've got a 1.8-inch color screen. This one's darker in color, and battery-wise, we've got the same standby time as the other, but it's actually a slightly better talk time of 35 hours. And then this one again, for headset port, we've got a 3.5mm jack. We've then got two ruggedized options. Now, the main difference between the two is the IP rating, with the idea that if your customer needs something ruggedized, but it doesn't necessarily need to be at the top end of, its waterproofness and things like that, then they could spend slightly less and get the lower end model. So both still have ruggedized qualities. It's just that one more so than the other. So take a look at those. First, we've got the W59R, which is the higher end model with the IP67 rating. So this one is resistant for dust, shock, water, scratch, and disinfectant. And when I say that it's water resistant, I mean it is pretty waterproof. You could submerge it underwater and it's still going to work. We may be not 30 meters down into the ocean, but we have had this one submerged in a tank all day, and it still keeps ringing. We've got built-in Bluetooth on this one with a good talk time, and it's also got some additional functions, so various alarm functions, and you've got a man down alarm, for example. So this is quite useful. Usually the ruggedized handsets tend to go into places like warehouses, factories, garages, and therefore in places where someone is more likely to suffer an injury or drop something that needs immediate assistance with. So you can use these features to notify people around them that help is required. And then you've also got a little torch at the top. So if you are out and about in your warehouse and you need some light, then you can just switch that on and off from the handset. Next, we've got the W57R, which is the slightly lesser ruggedized handset. So this one is IP54 rated. So it's still dust-proof, shock-proof and scratch resistant, but water-wise, it's only splash-proof rather than waterproof. So you can give it a quick wipe down, or maybe you get it splashed if it's been sat near the sink, but you wouldn't want to submerge this one underwater. There is also no headset option on this model either, and it does have a push button alarm, but it doesn't have the various different alarm type features. It's just the one. Here is the comparison slide. So I'm not going to go through and explain exactly line by line of the feature comparison, but it is just really useful for you to see at a glance. So for example, just looking at it, we can see that out of all of them, we've got 2 Bluetooth options, we've got 3 wired headset options, and everyone that is attending today will get a copy of these slides. So you will be able to keep this and use it internally, which definitely comes in handy when you're speaking to customers and trying to work out what will be best. Moving on to the base stations, the single cell base station is the W70B, and this is designed for small to medium-sized businesses. It can support up to 10 handsets with 20 simultaneous calls, which means in theory, everyone could be on a call and have someone else on hold at the same time. And the range itself between the base station and the handset is pretty standard for DECT, which is 30 meters indoors and 300 meters outdoors. But this will always vary depending on the building and what the walls are like or what else is in the way. And then you can extend the range of the base station with up to 6 repeaters. So that's 6 repeaters in total in a star setup, or if you wanted to daisy chain them, then you can do, but you daisy chain them in pairs only, so 2 at a time. Here you can see the various handsets that we've just been through, which are all available as a bundle with the base station. So there's the 3 office-based bundles and the 2 ruggedized bundles. And the base station is the same in all of them. That's the W70B. It is just the handset that's different. And then you can, of course, buy either part, be it the base or the handset, separately as well. Before moving on to the multi-cell, there is also one other cool thing that I wanted to show you on the DECT side, and that is that you can use a dongle to allow your desk phone to speak to a base station, or the other way around, where you are turning the handset essentially into a base station. Now, where might this come in handy? You've got plenty of small businesses out there that might need mostly DECT. So I'm thinking of places like restaurants and garages, and they will most likely need probably at least 1 desk phone. If it's a restaurant, they're probably going to have an office in the back somewhere. If it's a garage, then they will have a reception desk. But by using this dongle, it allows you to add a desk phone to the entire solution and keeping it all running off the DECT base station. So just giving you a cleaner and easier to manage system. Next, we've got a multi-cell solution, which is designed for larger buildings where you need to cover multiple floors over large space. So supermarkets, warehouses, factories, hotels. The multi-cell solution allows the handsets to roam in between base stations, so you've got the same strong signal throughout. Now, the W80B is the most popular one that we sell. There is also the W90B, which is very similar, but it's got external antennas for places where you might struggle with signal. Once you've figured out which DECT base station it is that you need, you will also need to make sure you get the DECT manager to go with it. And this looks just like the base stations, but it's basically the one unit that holds all the configuration, telling the other base stations what to do. So you will always need one of these for every solution. I wanted to add on here as well that I do get a lot of customers trying to make do with a single cell base station with repeaters to extend the range, when really in a lot of cases they should just be putting in a multi-cell solution, but ultimately have gone the other way to try and keep down the costs. Now, don't get me wrong, there are plenty of scenarios that are just fine with a single cell and repeaters. But those will usually be much smaller premises. So the last thing you want to do is deploy the single cell, put all these repeaters in, and then find out it's not suitable. And I have seen it happen. It is a pain. You know, not only are your costs massively going to increase because you're not going to be able to return the products that have already been used and deployed, and you've then got to buy some more. But also you're going to, you know, understandably have an upset customer, which is going to damage your relationship in the future. Now, multi-cell can sometimes seem a little bit daunting, but we do have loads of tools to help you with this. So we've got a DECT installation kit, which you can use to take direct to site. And this is what's going to help you work out how many base stations you need and where they all need to sit. So this is something your engineers will easily be able to navigate, but if you don't have an engineering arm to the business, or if you're not comfortable doing it on your own, then you could use ProView's white labeled installation services. So this is where we would send an engineer to your site to represent you guys for the day. They would do a survey, send you a report of how many bases you need, where they're going to go. They can also come back and do the installation as well. You know, so again, if you don't have the engineering arm, they can pretty much do the whole job for you. And then even from a sales point of view, we can assist you. So we have on many occasions joined calls with our resellers and their end users, where we join as a Yealink rep or your rep, you know, however it is that you prefer it, so that we can just discuss the site and help work out what would be best. So if you think you need this type of solution, but you're unsure on how to go about it, then do just give us a call and we will walk you through it. A few key features of the multi-cell, so you can count on a seamless roaming with the LAN sync. So even in an environment where there may be poor signal transmission or signal interference, then you can count on this being a stable roaming solution. We've got the DECT deployment toolkit, which is what I've just mentioned. So to explain a little bit more about how that works, it's a piece of kit with a couple of base stations and a handset, where the handset has special firmware on it designed to test signal strength. So you'll pop the base station down and start to walk around with the handset, and you'll be monitoring on the screen, and when it reaches a certain signal level, that's when you know you need to be putting in your next base station. And lastly, it should cover all possible scenarios, as the DECT handsets that we've just looked at, so all 5 of those, the desk phone where you've got the use of the DD10K dongle, and the DECT conference phone. So all of these are designed to be used on the single cell and multi-cell system. So you should find a device for every usage requirement. Like we had with the handsets, we've got another battle card here with a comparison of the features of the W70B single cell and both of the multi-cell options. I've got you know, a little less on here. This is mainly useful to show you at a glance how many handsets each solution can support. And as I mentioned before, you will get a copy of these slides, so feel free to keep this one because it will be quite useful. For the second part of the webinar, we will be looking at the DECT headset range. Now, here is the full headset range at a glance. And Yealink have actually done a really good job at putting together an entire headset portfolio. And they are the only IP handset vendor out there who has something like this. Like most other vendors, they always had an RJ9 headset, which they still do, but the development of everything else started pretty much as soon as COVID hit. So they brought out the USB headsets first, as that's what was massively needed at the time, and then the others shortly followed. So just to go through really quick, from the USB wide range, as you can see, we've got 3 wide options, so your low, middle and high end. For the RJ9, we've got a low and mid end option. We've got the DECT range, which consists of office headsets that are pictured here, but also other headsets for remote solutions and shop floors. And then finally, there is also a Bluetooth range consisting of a small in-ear model that could be bought with or without a workstation, and an over-the-head high-end active noise cancelling model that can be bought with or without a wireless charging stand. But today we are going to be focusing just on that DECT range. The Office DECT range has got 3 models, and it's fairly simple really once you get your head around it. So we've got just the 2 desktop headsets and 1 portable headset. So the 2 Office headsets come with a minimum of dual connectivity with the WH60, so that's the WH62s, and the WH66 supports triple connectivity. And then the portable headset, this is just a single connectivity, and all of this I'm going to explain in a moment now in more detail. So for the desktop range of headsets, you have the WH62 to 63 variant, and then the WH66 to 67 variant. Now the WH62 is more or less your standard DECT headset with a base station that's ordered also the charging cradle. But what this offers over others in the market is that it has dual connectivity, so you can connect to both your laptop and a desk phone at the same time. You've then got single and duo earpiece headband, or you can go for an over-the-ear convertible headset, which is the 63 variant. The WH66 is similar in some ways, but it's got additional features which you'll already be able to see from the imagery. So it's the base station, which is also the charging cradle as we're expecting. But then on the base station, it also has a 4-inch touchscreen for use with soft phones. You can then also buy an add-on wireless mobile phone charger, and that is the little black rectangle that you'll be able to see on the left-hand side of it. Now, some people use the soft phone on their computer, but if you're like me and you travel a lot, then you might just tend to stick with using the app on your mobile phone. So when I use it, it's great because my phone is constantly on charge whilst I'm answering calls at my desk. But then when I do have to leave to go for an on-site meeting, I don't have to worry about my battery because my phone's already fully charged. This one has the addition of Bluetooth connection as well as connecting to your laptop or desk phone. So it supports triple connectivity. And then like the WH62, this one can come as either a single or duo earpiece headband, or you can get it with the convertible earpiece. For all of these, you've then got the option to buy it as a Teams variant or a UC variant. Now, both variants work with Teams, but there is a difference, I promise. And anyone who tells you that it's just the same, but one has a Teams button, then they have got that a little bit wrong. So both are compatible with Teams, that bit's fine. And they do both have a button on the base station to integrate with soft phone apps, but this is where the difference lies. So for the Teams variant, as you would expect, it's designed to integrate with Microsoft Teams. So when you do press that button, it brings up the Teams app to the forefront of your screen. Now, the UC version has a button that does similar, but it's not for Teams. It's designed to work with those that have got their own app and to be able to integrate it with theirs, or if you want to use it with some other, third-party soft phone. Now, at ProView, we actually sell way more UC models than we do Teams models, which is quite unusual, and certainly compared to the other disties. But this is because we do sell to the majority share of the ITSPs within the industry, most of which do have their own app in some form. So therefore, they need the UC version because that's what's going to integrate. The Teams version won't integrate with their app in the same way. And also, you ultimately don't want to be sending out a product to your customers. That's if you've got your own app, then it's competing with it. So it's really important that you have a think about which one's going to be right for you, and go for either the Teams or the UC version. Here is a close-up of the headpieces I mentioned. So there is the mono and duo version of the 62 and 66. As you can see, it's just a single headband or double earpiece on a headband. Alternatively, you've got the 63 and 67 variant. So we're just going 1 digit up in the SKU, and this headpiece is convertible. So you can wear it either around the neck. You've got 2 different attachments for in-ear, if that's your preference, or you can attach a headband to it. Now, I personally didn't expect to sell much of the convertible models. For me, my preference has always been the headband rather than a convertible one, because I just find them a bit more robust. But actually, a surprising amount of customers do prefer the in-ear option. We've got a number of people at ProView that prefer it. For me, unfortunately, I've got super tiny ears, so even if I wanted to use an in-ear piece, I just can't use it. But in my experience, the headband variant, which is the one that I use, they're really, really comfortable. I do a lot of video calls, so I wear them for a long time. And in terms of feedback from our resellers, we've been having great feedback since their release a few years ago. And they have actually taken over a lot of the Poly and Jabra sales that we used to have. This is the portable variant of the DECT headset. So it's basically a headpiece that comes with a cable charger. So there's no DECT base station with a charging cradle. So the cable is the charger, and then the dongle that it comes with is what becomes the transmitter. So you'll plug that dongle into your laptop or to a desk phone or a desk phone if it's got a USB port, which the headset then speaks to. So the idea behind this is if you are a hybrid worker and you're switching between work and home, or possibly you do work in an office but you hot desk on a regular basis, therefore using different computers, then you can just carry around your headset in its little carry case, put the dongle into whatever device you're using, and away you go. Then this one, similarly to the desktop variants we just saw, you can have either as a single or dual headband option or a in-ear piece. Finally, in the headset range, we've got the handset and headset solution, where the headset can speak to your single cell and multi-cell base stations alongside the cordless handsets. So what we have here is the WH621 and WH631 range. So like all the others, you've got your choice between your headband or in-ear piece. They come with, so these all come with their own charging cradle, and they're perfect for environments where you would typically go cordless. So for example, retail, healthcare, hospitality, etc. And then the headset itself is paired to the base stations just in the same way you would pair a cordless handset. But instead of dialing out, you have a push to talk button, and then you can also receive calls. So a lot of supermarkets, for example, will have headsets as well as handsets. And this is great, especially for those workers who are moving around a lot, typically on a shop floor. So they can push to talk to a pre-configured number if they need to request any assistance, but equally they can receive incoming call internally if they're being, I don't know, summoned to go do a clean up on aisle 2, for instance. These come each with their own charging cable, which I mentioned, but you can also buy a multi-charging stand. Now, because of the earpieces, you would need to buy a stand that's either for the headband variant or the in-ear variant. You can't have both. Now, this product is almost available. So this one's new. It's not out just yet, but it should be available and ready to order from China in the next month or so, and then it's probably going to be another 2 to 3 months after that. So I'd say we're looking at, by the end of the year, we should hopefully be launching these. ProView will, of course, as always, be doing our own testing, and then most likely we would look to do an NFR offer when the time comes. Here's an example of how you might use them with the different base stations. And to be honest, it's pretty much what I've just described. So you can use it with a single cell W70B or the multi-cell 80B and 90B. Now, just to give you a heads up, obviously they're still just finishing off the development and production. So it's currently supported to work on the W70B and W90B. They are just finishing off the W80B, so that one is coming, but it will be supported on all three, which means you could have on your DECT solution handsets and headsets and desk phone and conference phone. So basically any type of device. Here we've got a more detailed example of a supermarket and where you might have the certain different types of devices. So to start with, as you can see, we've got a couple of base stations in between the different areas. So this will be a multi-cell that sit within range of each other so that the calls can roam between them. And device-wise, we will start with the back office. And generally, whether this is the single back-end office or somewhere else and it's a director's office, everywhere, most sites is going to have something like that in the building, regardless of what type of site it is. And this is where you will most likely want to have your desk phone. And you can have this sit on the DECT system using the DD10K dongle if you wanted to. Moving on to the warehouse area. So this is where the headsets would be really useful, as typically a member of staff in the warehouse won't be making many outgoing calls, and also they'll be moving around a lot and picking things up. So generally they need to keep their hands free at all times. However, if there was an emergency, for example, they knocked something over or even worse, got injured, then they could quickly press the push to talk and ask for help. They could also use it to answer the doorbell. So if you've got the door intercom integrated and sitting on your VoIP system, which, by the way, is something we can also work with you on. So if you do want to explore the IP directory and access control side of things, then just pop a message into the chat and I'll get one of our specialists to give you a call. Yeah, back to the warehouse. Like I said, the headsets would be most suitable because these are the guys that are going to be moving around. And you maybe want to put in 1 or 2 cordless handsets just to sit at the station if you do need them to be making the odd outgoing call, maybe if it's to a courier or something like that. In the shop floor of the supermarket, so that's where you've got all the products on the aisles, the customers and the tills. Probably recommend headsets for the till users, and also some of the members of staff that are going to be walking around the shop floor. Maybe those who are walking around doing the restocking, the headsets would be good for. And you may have the odd person that just has a handset in their pocket, but your supervisor or manager, that's probably going to be the person that will need both. And in this scenario, both the headset and the handset can share the same SIP account. So it's not going to cost you any more users to set that up. Right, before I finish off and get to the end, I have added in a slide about EHS adapters because I think it's quite useful. We do get a lot of questions about these, and sometimes it can be a bit confusing as to which one you need to use where. So the one that everyone should already be aware of, it's not actually pictured here, but that's the EHS 40, and that is the current EHS adapter that works with all of Yealink's desk phones that have USB ports. So that's basically the entire T4 range and entire T5 range. But they do have a number of other adapters to work with non-USB handsets, and not just for Yealink either, but for other brands out there in the market, which is why this slide is so useful. So starting at the top, the EHS 61 is designed to work with the legacy Yealink phones that didn't come with USB ports, so your old T2 series and old T4 series. Plus we've got Unify and Mitel working with that adapter. Next, the EHS 60 is designed to work with other main third-party handsets, so Cisco, and then we've got certain Avaya handsets, certain Poly handsets, certain Grandstream handsets, and certain Fanvil handsets. And then the EHS 35 is designed to work with Yealink's T3 series, which is the one series of theirs that doesn't come with the USB ports. And then the remaining handsets from your Poly, Avaya, Grandstream, and Fanvil series, and also the SNOM handsets. So if you've got a customer with another handset already and you're looking to add headsets, then you don't need to go looking for the other brands out there and getting lost on eBay and Amazon. The Yealink DECT headsets are not only much richer in features, but way better priced for what you're getting. So you're not going to find headsets at this price by other brands in the market, especially considering the fact that we've got dual connectivity. Usually you're paying an extra 40 or so quid for that additional connectivity. So this is a really great battle guard to keep. We do get asked a lot, what works with what, and Yealink have gone out and done all their testing because they want their headsets not just to be suitable for Yealink products, but for everything else. We are putting on a NFR offer for various headsets and handsets so that you can give them a try for yourself. So it will be for the mid-range USB wired headset, the WH66 DECT headset with the touch screen, the BH76 high-end Bluetooth headset, and then handset-wise, we'll be offering the W57R ruggedized model and the W70H office handset. Now, it's roughly about 80% of RRP, and we will be sending an email out to everyone that's on our marketing base, confirming the prices and how long it's going to be available for. So if you're on our mailing list, which most of you here, I'm assuming will be, because that's how you got registered. But if you're not, or you don't receive our emails, just pop a message in the box and I can get you added. Finally, we are doing a giveaway of 3 of the WH66 headsets. So everyone that stayed on for the full webinar will be in with a chance of winning one. So we'll be picking the names out randomly and then contacting you individually to let you know if you have won. And that concludes our slides for today. So I will hang about now for a few minutes or however long we need to answer any questions. So if you've got any questions, anything you want to know, then pop a message into the box and I'll do my best to answer. And we've got Joel here, of course, to help if you need it. So I've just had a presentation. I've just had a question come through about the NFR offer, asking when are we going to be launching it. So that should be ready to go out either, it'll most likely be early next week, but the pricing we should have confirmed by the end of this week. So if you don't want to wait for the email, just pop a message into the box and I can send you a message later. Another question. Oh, we've got quite a few popping in. And Joel, I might need your help with some of these. So the next question, Joel, is the customer would like to confirm what audio codecs are supported on the WH66.
Hi everyone.
Hi,
Sorry, I can see the questions. Can you repeat it again?
Yeah, so can you confirm what audio codecs are supported on the WH66?
Yeah, for sure. Just wait me a moment because I do have a form about that and WH66. Just wait a moment, and then I can show you with.
Are you just looking for that, Joel?
Yeah. I'm looking at it.
No
Just
problem.
wait a moment.
I think whilst you're having a look at that, I will answer some of the other questions. So we've been asked, how much notice do you need to give to get the survey kit? So you've got 2 options with the survey kit. You can either buy one, and to be honest, they're not that expensive. It's only a few £100s. So, you know, realistically, if you're going to do, you know, more than a few sites, you'll cover your costs quite quickly. So you can either buy one or you can rent one, and it pretty much depends. You know, if it's already out in the field, then you just got to wait for someone to send it back before you can take it. But usually we find most people only have it for about a week, 2 weeks max. So so they usually come in and out pretty quickly. So if you're ever wanting to rent the survey kit rather than buy one, then you can just email us at this email that's on the screen, contact@proview.co.uk. the guys will tell you if it's in the building. If it is, then we can send it out right away. Or if it's not, then they will speak to the person who's got it out in the field and find out when it's due back. Joel, shall I move on to another question, or have you got what you need?
Hi guys. I think there is no any codecs that support. We are just as long as the talking mode will be wideband and the 10, because you know that it is actually it is a USB products, and once you connect it into your computer, and every audio type will be playing in your handset. So that's no necessary need any codecs in that. And if you want our handset to be compatible with your smartphone, like Teams, Zooms, or something else that needs our SDK to be integrated into the handset. And this is the software part. So I think there is no we got a codec range like what we do in the SIP protocol. So I think everything can be played as long as you can connect it to your PC and your phone. And if you connect it to your phone, and the codec is mainly defined by the phone, and if your phone support that codec, and it will play in your headset. So that's the answers.
Thank you very much. Next question I've got is, what is the key advantage of DECT over a Wi-Fi phone? So for me, the most important thing I'd say, or the biggest difference, is that I mean, the DECT technology, you know, and the signal between handset to base station is a lot stronger than over Wi-Fi. So your base station is plugged in directly via a Cat5 cable, and then the DECT technology itself, you've got quite a decent range. Now, what I found historically when I've been using Wi-Fi handsets, whilst it's connected, it's fine, but it can drop quite a lot. And every time it drops, it deregisters, and you've got to go and mess with your phone to get it registered again. So if you've got a place that doesn't have cabling, it's a really, really old building, and realistically you're not going to rip out all the walls, then by all means, you know, put in a Wi-Fi phone, but it's not. I wouldn't describe it as, you know, as your 100%, and it certainly wouldn't be my my go-to recommendation. If you've got the opportunity for any type of cabling, then I would always be recommending DECT over Wi-Fi. We've also been asked, so the Yealink desktop handsets, if it has a USB slot, then would it still need an EHS adapter? And the answer to that is no. So the Yealink headsets, DECT headsets that we've shown you today, so the WH62 and WH66, they've all got two USB connections. So you can connect it to your desk phone via USB slot, and your laptop via USB slot. So if it's with any of the T4 series and T5 series with the Yealink headset, then you don't need any EHS adapter. I'm also being asked if we can use a Bluetooth dongle. So Yealink do have their own Bluetooth dongle, and you can use that with any of the T4 series and any of the T5 series, because those are the ones that have the USB slots. And they've all got two USB slots. So the T5 series, most of them already have built-in Bluetooth, so you actually wouldn't need that. But if you wanted to on your desk phone, you could have use one of the USB slots for a Bluetooth dongle, and then connect a DECT in if you wanted to, or whatever else that you need the other USB port, be that for an expansion module or something like this. So I've been asked, when connecting the DECT headset to the W90DM, so that's the DECT manager for your multi-cell base station. They're wanting to know, is this the same process as connecting a W59R? Now, I haven't actually personally tried to configure those headsets yet to a system. So Joel, would you be able to help answer me this one? When we're pairing the headset to the multi-cell solution, to the DECT solution, is it the same process as if it was a cordless handset, or is there much difference?
Yeah, when you register the headset in the DECT DM, it will be like a headset. It will be you can just imagine that it is replace a headset in here. But if you want to use such as if a worker and they need a handset or headset both, and they can register the same account, and so that they can use together. And when you press the mute key for a long time, and then the audio will transfer into your headset. So I think that both two scenario we are supported, and the headset can be work as a headset, or it can be a headset of the handset.
Okay, so it's either on its own or using the same SIP account as another handset, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
the pairing process is the same, yeah?
Yeah, it's the same.
Okay, great. I've just had another question, and this is on the DECT USB dongle, so the DD10K for the desk phones, and I'm being asked which desk phones does it support. So as I mentioned before, there's two ways you can use that DECT dongle. So there's one scenario where you can, by putting in the dongle, you can then have it speak to a base station. So if you're looking to use it in that scenario, then you can do that with the T41S, T42S, and T54W. But if you're looking to use it in the opposite scenario, which is where you're, oh no, sorry, I've got it the wrong way around. So I'm really sorry. So the first one, for the T41S, T42S, and T54W, that is where if you are trying to turn the phone into a base station itself. If you're wanting to do it the other way around, where you're having it act like a cordless handset and speak to a DECT base station, then you can do that with pretty much all of the T5 series, with the exception of the T58 series. Although I assume those will be supported at some point, but because they are quite new, the T58s, they're not on the list at the moment. But yeah, we've got the whole T5 series, including the VP59 and the old T5 series phones as well. But I'll hang on for another minute or so just to see if any more questions come in. If you don't manage to think of everything that you need answering now, but you do have any questions later, we do have our main email address and telephone number there. Now that email reaches our team of technical sales engineers and also our customer service team. So whether it's a question about if you need product advice or stock or pricing, everyone in that who receives those emails will be able to help you with those different inquiries. Or if you want to pick up the phone and pick somebody's brains, then you can call the main number that we've got there, which is 01484 840048, and it's option 1 for the sales team. Don't forget as well, we've got quite a few bits that we can do around this, so we can pre-configure all of your single cell DECT base stations and send them to direct to site. And we can also, if you wanted to, so obviously there's the configuration part, but then the second part of the setup is where you then pair the handset to the base station. Now, if you're buying the bundle package, then it comes pre-paired, but if you're wanting to add additional handsets, and obviously they come, you buy them as separate handsets, and we can do the pairing element for you before they go out of the building. So we take them out of the box and physically pair them ourselves. So if that's a service that you'd like to look at, then you can either pop a message in the box or email us or call us on the details on the screen. It's not expensive, you know, it's £1 to £1.50 for the config, and if you want us to pair, then it's only a £5, you know, and we can get that out the door late on in the day for next day delivery. Right, we've not had any more questions come through just yet, so I will hang around for 1 more minute, see if anything comes through, and if not, then we'll drop off, but we'll give it another minute or so. I've just had a question come in on the portable headset. So that's the DECT headset for the remote workers, asking when that one's going to be available. So we do actually have some already on order, and they should be with us quite soon. So they are already readily available from China, and they have been making their way into the UK. So those ones are available a lot sooner. So if you specifically want that one now, we do have, I'm just going to check because I know we have all the products set up on our system, so I'm just going to have a quick look now and see what our back orders look like. Yeah, so they are actually, the portable models are already live on Process. So if you're using Process, our portal, then you'll be able to find the stock availability and pricing there. We don't have loads in stock right now because it's a brand new product, but we do have more along the way. Or if you don't use the portal, then if you'd like access to our reseller portal, so that's where you can see all your pricing, all your stock information, so it's live stock levels as well, then either pop us a message into the box or email us and we'll get you set up with some login. All right, so I'm guessing that's probably it for the questions now. Joel, is there anything you wanted to add, or anything you think that'd be useful for customers to know before we sign off?
No.
No? Okay, we're all good. All right, well, thanks so much, everyone that's attended. We've had loads of you on today, which has been really, really nice to see, and I hope you found all of this useful. And like I said, do just drop us an email or give us a call if you want to pick our brains at any time. We're always more than happy to help, and we're always happy to speak to you. So enjoy the rest of your week, everybody, and hopefully see you on the next one. Cheers.